Welcome to another edition of MegaWeekly, and today's episode is kinda unconventional for today, actually. To be honest, I bring in a guest today to discuss this matter, and with me was NifTiaz. So, enjoy this recording, and I'll probably get on to the point.
Yeah, check this out.
I guess so. There's only one thing that we really need to check out. It's just like, maybe people were probably just really skeptical about several months ago when the Illuminati pretty much released this thing about Toei pretty much leaving Power Rangers for a while.
Or Power Rangers leaving Toei.
Yeah, I was thrilled. Everyone was saying fake news, but I'm pretty sure it's just the mentality that it just has something to do with the propaganda model of like media releases off media sites, especially these things. So when they view independent news sources, they can just exclaim it as fake news. However, because it's generally like this this is like this little special club that pretty much every single of these news sites usually go to, because what they do is like they get the news for the day. This is what they're allowed to write. This is what they're allowed to release. And if they go against this, they actually get excluded through excluded from that club of some sorts. Especially when they rely on these companies just to get their news. And that's one of the biggest risks that they can't take away, especially when they're going to somewhere like independent sources, and people start to get really skeptical about it. And the strange thing is that this is almost partially correct in certain extent, where they were probably doing something new. I can confirm that the negotiations can change. However, I am not 200% sure on a lot of this, especially when there's so much possibilities that everyone's been talking about. So what do you think of the idea of like a cinematic universe for Power Rangers? It's just like, is it?
I'm kind of I'm kind of down. Rewinding back to 2017 when the that film came out.
Yeah.
I haven't like gone back into like the show, or like gone into like fully like dive head first back into Sentai.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was still like, oh cool, Power Rangers is coming back. I remember watching it as a kid. And so like after that 2017 movie came out, like, oh man, I wish I wanted to see like more of this. Yeah, sure. The movie wasn't like the best.
No.
I like the best thing about it was the cast, the characters. I was not a fan of the suits.
Yeah. I think that's what everyone was with the suits, and especially looking at Alpha 5, they thought it was the biggest abomination.
It was over designed.
Yeah.
But alright, with after that, seeing that movie, I'm like, I wish they do like another team of Power Rangers, but then like maybe the next year, or like, how Marvel does like 3 movies a year. Like,
oh yeah,
maybe like well, they didn't start off like that way, with.
They only did like Iron Man like once, and then Hulk was only like 2 per year, and then they just
exactly, and then they built up, right? So,
pretty much built up, because
you start off with like the Mighty Morphin team, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you start introducing like other teams.
It just sounds like there was so much missed opportunity, apparently, from what everyone was saying with the film.
Yeah.
There's so much you could do with Power Rangers.
I kind of wish they had like another fight scene somewhere in the middle where they're in suit. Yeah.
Because it really drags
I kind of dig how like the one fighting scene they have in the suit is like in like a quarry looking place.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is Power Rangers, alright. Okay, basically I was thinking like, alright, have different movies, like you have the Mighty Morphin team now, and then maybe do a sequel to these guys like in a year or two, and then after that, you start introducing like the Alien Rangers, or a Time Force. Maybe you don't even necessarily have to do it like
you don't have to do every team, but like I guess you could just squeeze in like a few original of the OG teams at least some people would be aware of. You don't have to squeeze in whatever there was in the Disney era, or just like
Yeah.
If-
Or just like handpick the seasons that you're.
Yeah, handpick the seasons, and everyone should be happy with that. Unless there's gonna be that one person that's gonna be at the back and say, "Where is Lightspeed Rescue? I don't like this movie because it doesn't have Lightspeed Rescue."
To be honest, I think Lightspeed Rescue would make for a good film.
That would be a great disaster movie, though.
Yeah. It would make good because like the foundations of what the Rangers are, they're like they're basically like a elite military organization.
Honestly, by watching Lightspeed back on Netflix, it was essentially just like a soft reboot of MMPR, just with like an official regiment or Power Rangers instead of these unofficial, we solicited child soldiers that Zordon brain from nowhere with no training whatsoever.
Like you could definitely do like a mature story with Lightspeed Rescue.
I mean, that's what they're sort of trying to do, according to this press release that they were trying to do. They're deciding to segregate at least two different types of audiences, one for kids and then one for the adults. I don't know if it relates to TV shows or movies specifically, and this feels like they would probably, obviously, might get provisions from Toei, but they might not be able to get source footage, but they'll be able to get designs from Plex if they have their authorization. They might be able to, I don't know about footage or any of the Zords, but they probably would get access to costumes unless they're pretty much forced to pretty much craft their own things, which are likely not going to be the case. I don't know, and everyone's been also saying that I got one comment just recently as well saying that Power Rangers isn't technically broken aside from the movie, but I don't know, segregating two of them would probably like disinfect its audience. I mean, most of the audience from Power Rangers comes from that one show. And to making it two would just make it too difficult to even focus on. Again, that's what Transformers did as well, but then it started making its strides with Rescue Bots Prime, War for Cybertron. As such, I can see where they're trying to achieve with this model. Because it did work once, but I'm not... The thing about Power Rangers is that I don't know if it'll even work at all. Because we're just so... Because Power Ranger fans are generally stubborn, that any changes would probably inflict on their nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to go back to like with the movie idea, like you introduce you do a different team like after like a few years, and then like you have like an adventure style crossover with the teams that have been established. Like that would be cool.
Yeah.
And then I discovered like they got the Power Rangers comics, and they got like a little Infinity War level event with Shattered Grid.
Yeah.
And it was written really well. Like I just finished the Shattered Grid arc, and I'm like, holy shit, man!
It blew your mind. How many like did you feel like you're in the cosmos when you were just finishing reading Shattered Grid?
Well, yeah. I mean, it kind of got like Doctor Strange levels of like multiverse. Like, oh shit, is any of this for real? Like, or not? You know, and yeah. Well, it kind of like it sort of ends on that like we're resetting the universe type of thing, like, which is like okay, spoilers. But it was a good journey, and I'm starting the next arc, which is Beyond the Grid, which I think it's not a full reset. So like from what I've like been able to like trying to figure out like what's happening with where the story's going.
See, everyone's just been mentioning about the comics. It's like the only one fiction that they can take seriously.
Well, it is. Like, that's the thing. It is.
I mean, I guess because I watched other tokusatsu shows like Kamen Rider, but it's mostly so heavy on the J drama. And I don't think that would really be engaging with.
Comics is kind of like teen drama. I guess.
Teen drama and such.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of those teen dramas. Even as a teenager, I kind of cringed. It's the fact that I was probably one of the few people that don't.
Well, actually, no, take that back. It's not so much teen drama, but you do get like that aspect. Like these guys are teenagers, so, you know, they're written like.
So they're more convincing than the teenagers in Mighty Morphin. 99 Free Boys, I meant.
Like they all have like problems like I don't know, yeah, typical American teenagers go through. You know? They gotta study for like exams. Like Zach is failing like his history test or something like that.
Because it's not like you're gonna go to
up.
approach these people and they're like, "Are you undercover cops?" No, I'm just like, "Nah, we're just a bunch of friends going to St. Kilda." So I just can't get that out of my mind now. Now that you mentioned that these are much more convincing people than the actual people that they were in several other series.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Oh, actually, also another thing I wanted to say just before. It's funny, like watching any season of Power Rangers. Power Rangers is that show that you'll always kind of have something else to compare it to. Like, if you say I'll watch like fucking I don't know Power Rangers Mega Force, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good example one to pick out, but like or any season really.
Yeah.
The general audience at Jessica will always like either compare it to Mighty Morphin.
I thought it would be like direct comparison to like the actual Sentai.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna.
Oh right, yeah, then you were gonna go on to that.
Or the other audience, the other part of the audience will compare it to the Sentai, you know. Well, if you like with the case of like Mystic Force, people might make that comparison to like Harry Potter or any other like wizard-based stories.
Because apparently, Japanese audiences seem to like the adaptation more to certain situations. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we did touch on this very long ago. Japanese fans were pretty much invested in Beast Morphers than they were with Go Busters, for some strange reason.
I see. But like, when I watch a Sentai, I just watch it for what it is. I don't compare it to other Sentai seasons.
I don't think there really is any comparable examples if you were... Especially, like, if the adaptation's entirely different. They're not very comparable.
I don't know. Like, maybe if you watch, like, a dinosaur-themed Sentai and you compare it to another dinosaur-themed one.
I mean, there is certain links there. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't like, generally, when you watch it like a Sentai, you just watch that show.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
But it's so strange. It's just like sometimes you want to watch Sentai, and it's maybe there's a few things that turn people off because there's a lot of people that expect them to be Sentai to have this dark overtone than it is with actual Power Rangers. Especially when they compare like Jew Ranger and Mighty Morphin, two different things. But Jew Ranger for me was kind of this snore fest because it focuses on like Child of the Week most of the time, and you expect these people to have actual jobs or like exist within this world where it's technology is different and they don't know anything about economics or civilization. And they don't even bring that up. It's like how do they even have motorcycles in the 10th century or like before alright, so what is this?
Because I tried with Z Ranger, but like coming off of Die Ranger, I'm like, nah.
Yeah. That was a big disappointment. It's like the big leap between Jetman to Jew Ranger, then back to Die Ranger. It's a fresh kind of...
It's such a weird thing, like, alright, here's Jew Ranger in between, like, really good Sentais.
Yeah.
But also the one that's, like, the first Power Rangers. And, like, the two shows, like, it's next to didn't really get, like, properly adapted. Well, I mean, like, one wasn't adapted at all. The other one just... It's Six Rangers.
Left there in the dust.
It's like this limbo. I don't know, man.
I can imagine going to like conventions and people ask, "Do you know? Have you seen this? Have you seen this show?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's on Super Mega Force." What are the reactions you would say if they the only exposure to Die Ranger was Super Mega Force?
Someone like actually recognized my suit as Die Ranger. It's like. He's just like, oh, dude, and just give me a high five, like, awesome cosplay. And, like, I love Die Ranger. Like, cool. I'm like, okay, cool. think anyone would recognize it. Which is lucky because like on that day I found someone who was cosplaying, this white Mighty Morphin Ranger. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, I don't know if you know, but like we're kind of from the same. Like, yeah. I've met the guy before. I think he's more of a he was more of a Power Ranger fan as well. So.
Oh, so yeah.
I think he has like a surface level of knowledge of Sentai. So.
Right. Because I feel like if there's one thing I really want to touch on, if Hasbro were to make this movie, and especially getting some prolific director, Jonathan Entwistle, do you know anything about his works? Like apparently,
yeah, I know he's known for like directing like the end of the fucking world and some other thing, like some new stuff on Netflix, but like I haven't watched it myself.
not a vibe, because I was pretty confused, like who is this director until people brought it up, and then they were saying that how good he was.
Yeah, I've heard like good things about those projects. Like my friend watched The End of the Fucking World. He said, "Yeah, it's really good, man." From what I've seen, like on the Netflix homepage, it looks like they're like 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 a coming of age type story.
Oh yeah. So he's definitely much more of a character-driven director than really anything else. Because if he's not really into action, then that's gonna be maybe a sort of an issue unless they get someone else to bring in, like part of the Japan Action Enterprise.
Yeah.
So
have someone take care of the action, and he can take care of the humans. That's why I think that's like one of the reasons I like the 2017 movie is like the characterization of the characters.
Yeah.
Like, they felt like real characters, Sure, there was like way too much of character development. I'm not sure if it's too much even, but they just had to bring in more action, I guess.
I mean, they have weight, so there is some advantages to that. But if there was one thing what do you think Hasbro would do differently from 2017's adaptation?
I was on the, I don't know. I was low key afraid they might, get like a Michael Bay just to like, have a.
You don't want a Michael Bay versus. Nah.
Yeah, just make it, which is weird because like my fear with like getting a Michael Bay version of a Power Rangers kind of already happened with the 2017 movie, where like the designs like pretty much it's all over design. It's like I don't know, I feel nothing for these designs.
Yeah.
But I feel for the characters in that film was like done well. It was enough for me to like. I guess, but I mean, again, with what Hasbro's done with like the Transformers franchise, like they got the Bumblebee movie happening. Like that was a good Transformers film that they got. The designs was correct. There was like a good amount of like human element in it, and
I was saying that movie overhyped.
It made the Transformer like a Transformer like as its focus character. So
oh yeah.
Human.
And it took them like 5-6 films to actually get Transformers in the way that people wanted it. And they have been asking this since 2007. I mean, there's a whole subgroup of people that are only like stubborn as hell. Is like they only like G1. They hate Beast Wars. They hate Unicorn Trilogy. They hate animated. They hate War for Cybertron. And they hate the Bayverse, but they only stick to Generation 1. And it's like this echo chamber of people where they pretty much shit on the franchise because it's just on one thing they don't even like. Oh god.
I kind of want to see them do Transformers Armada.
No, that's the stuff that I grew up with as well.
Yeah. The mini cons and stuff.
It's the only one thing that I probably think that if they Hasbro find it, they probably would have avoided the mistakes they did with G.I. Joe, and it was I forgot, it was the Rise of Cobra and Retaliation. I sort of think Retaliation was alright, but when I was looking at Rise of Cobra, it was like very dry and unoriginal because it did really feel like a generic action movie.
G.I. Joe movie though?
Sorry?
How many G.I. Joe movies are there?
Apparently there's only 2 live action, 1 maybe a few animated, and there's a new one coming out called Snake Eyes.
Oh, they're doing a solo movie. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they're doing a solo movie, which
Snake Eyes
it's
is
really
like
confusing
that.
because Snake Eyes is supposed to be like this classified character that no one's supposed to know about, and I feel like they're gonna ruin the surprise from there.
Like he doesn't. He's not meant to like talk and stuff, right?
He's silent, yeah. He's pretty. He doesn't talk at all.
I thought they kind of did his origin already in like one of the movies.
I have no idea if they ever did, but
I feel like I remember like he was like a white kid or something, right? And they.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it was done something with it in the comics, and then they pretty much disclosed that. And then with the comics, he was apparently gone for like several months or so, and then he went under a different character or code name or something like that. I think it was Chuckles, but I'd have to double check. I'd have to really refer back to this because I'm going back here by some panel that I watched online. That was from several years ago by Retroblasting. They did a featurette with G.I. Joe, and that's where I did my crash course on most of the G.I. Joe toys and the fiction alone. Alright, so since there's nothing really else, I think we addressed what's mostly on that article. It's like we got Jonathan Entwistle and they'll mostly on opinions. I guess we can call it that's it for MegaWeekly.
Okay.
Go plug yourself in.
Yeah. Alright. Actually, just a real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't read the comics, right?
No, I'm still yet to do that.
Because I was gonna say like with the upcoming movie they were playing like just ideas of it.
Yeah.
Harken back to a certain event in the comics where it was set in the 1960s, like moon landing. It was a different.
Oh wait, it's 1969 Rangers, was it? Because I did read that.
Yeah, yeah.
I did read that issue.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like, would you want them to see that adapt that aspect? Because those Rangers like fail.
Yeah, it was like only one issue, and
Yeah.
spoiler alert if anyone hasn't even read them. 3 of the 2 of them die or something, or did all of them die?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 of them died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, yeah, the in that team, Pink Ranger's a guy and Red Ranger's a girl. So if they're casting like a female for a Red Ranger, that's what they're just sticking it to the comics. So don't get mad.
Yeah, I guess so. Do you think they'll ever do 5-man?
Yeah.
Supersonic?
5-man. Oh, like the Supersonic team.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's possible, but I don't know. I don't see. I don't
I
feel
like
very
how
likely.
they tied them into like, oh, these guys are from the same planet as like Trip from Time Force, like same race.
Wait, that was the only nod to fiction, as far as we're concerned.
The what?
The overall fiction of Power Rangers. They're just the same species as Trip.
Yeah. All the Supersonic team. Yeah.
Because I just thought they were just thrown out of nowhere.
No, they tried to tie them into. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I know, man. It's pretty cool. Also, there is like some other comics that sort of goes back to that, like when Psycho Green returns and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much it for in the world of comics. And yeah, I'm gonna try and get caught up with the Paradise comics because there's some new series coming out and I want to start that. And I haven't even read Go-Go Power Rangers yet.
I think I need more reading than I should. Alright.
Definitely good. Alright, man. That's it.
Is that it? If you want to call it, let's call it from here. Let's
Alright.
that's it for Mega Weekly issue 2.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in with NifTiaz and I, Mega Black's Mega Posting, and we will see you in the next episode. Actually, I don't even do outros. This is probably the only outro I'm gonna do.
Oh, there we go. Stay crispy, guys.